Hello everybody, I welcome you all to the daily newspaper analysis, an initiative of the UPSConline.com and Ambition IAS. Today we shall be discussing the Hindu newspaper of 11th of December 2017. Coming to the front page of the newspaper, nothing much relevant from UPSC point of view, so we shall quickly shift to the editorial page. Now coming to the editorial page, we see a number of articles here. The most important article is the one dealing with WTO, because of the simple reason that WTO has its 11th ministerial conference going on in Buenos Aires in Argentina. So we shall make a special and specific video on WTO. So the second article that we shall be discussing is this one, a game of chicken in the Korean Peninsula. Now, first thing that you have to understand is that whenever you're coming on the opinion page, the op-ed page, as the name itself suggests that the author has given an opinion. So your first attempt has to be to see what that opinion is. In this case, the opinion is very, very clear. And that is that on North Korea, the world is way past tactical solutions. Only a comprehensive diplomatic solution will work. So this is the opinion of the author. Now, the second thing is that you have to see this opinion and you have to decide whether this is the opinion that could be useful for you in your examination. Definitely, this is a balanced opinion. This is a neutral sort of an opinion, and you can be asked to take an opinion or give an analytic view in your mains paper, as well as more so in your interview. During your interview preparation, you will need to have clear-cut stands, and these articles will help you gain that. Now, coming to the article itself, first and foremost, a slight background that any article primarily has. Now, as you all know, that North Korea has achieved nuclear status. The author talks of its missile, which these details that the Hwasong 15 missile can travel. See, this is what I want to teach you all, that these details are not so important from an analytical point of view and from mains point of view, because you don't have scope to write these details. So coming simply that the first point in the background is that North Korea has achieved tactical supremacy in nuclear weapons, and it can challenge even the US. It has ability to even challenge the US in this regard, and as a result of which there is tension and there is crisis in the Korean Peninsula affecting countries like Japan, South Korea and the US. So this is one point of the background. Second thing that the author talks about is a policy which he says that is probably being used, which is mentioned here, is escalating, a strategy of escalating to de-escalate. Now this is a key word here which you must identify. Whenever you have such articles, you must identify and note down the keywords. This means that the country North Korea has escalated the tensions to de-escalate. What does this mean is that it wants to de-escalate sanctions that are applied on North Korea, some restrictions, some embargoes, some bullying by international institutions under pressure of developed countries, especially the US. So this kind of thing, to de-escalate the situation, North Korea has gone in for escalation of its weaponry. This is a key idea that the author has presented. Next background point here is that of six-party talks. The six-party talks, you can note this down because this is not a part of the article. The six-party talks was something that was initiated in 2003 after North Korea withdrew from the Non-Proliferation Treaty, which this includes 6 countries, that is China, Japan, North Korea, South Korea, Russia and the US. And it is these countries who were negotiating with North Korea over its nuclear program. However, in 2009, North Korea withdrew from these talks, and the six-party talks has been a failure since 2009. Right? So these are the background points in this article. Now, the author has given an opinion that North Korea as a there is no tactical solution available for North Korea. Now, definitely because he has taken the stand, he has given some points to support his opinion. So these are the points which I will be giving in a nutshell to you. He has discussed these points country-wise, that why country-wise tactical solutions are not available. So first country that he has discussed here is the US. And the reasons why US cannot ensure tactical solutions is primarily because, first and foremost, its past experiences of sanctions against North Korea and aggressive stand against North Korea has all failed US, and today North Korea has become a nuclear country despite US efforts to stop North Korea. Secondly, having read the first point itself, that the nuclear capability of North Korea has extensions up to United States itself, and therefore a military action by US is bound to fail or is bound to backfire. So a military option is not available to US. Then thirdly, which is a very, very important point, that US today under Trump regime has gone in for a new policy, which is America First policy. In such a scenario, the global faith on US as a leader to fight the North Korean issue has eroded. One never knows when US will change its stance towards North Korea, and as a result of which the faith of countries, especially Japan and South Korea, seems to be shaky in US. Therefore, US cannot lead a tactical program against North Korea. Furthermore, another example is that of Iran's nuclear deal, which was a big achievement of the Obama regime in US, where he had achieved the nuclear deal with Iran under the aegis of P5+1. But this Trump has withdrawn. Trump has given all messages that he will not cooperate with Iran, and this has sent very much wrong signals amongst the international community. And so even if US wants to strike a deal with North Korea, it will become very, very difficult, because North Korea will be highly distrustful of US. So US cannot provide a solution. Coming to the second country, China. Now China is definitely in the neighborhood of North Korea, and it is one of the most influential countries in North Korea, because North Korea is largely cut off from the rest of the world and has relations with very few countries, and China is amongst those countries. However, China will never prefer a war happening in its backyard. A nuclear fallout in the region is absolutely unwelcome to China, like any other neighboring country. Secondly, China will always be wary of North Korean refugees, because in case of any disruption in North Korea, which has happened in other countries like Egypt, where Egypt and various other Arabian countries after the Spring Revolution or the Arab Revolution, or all these countries that had undergone. So today these countries are suffering from a refugee burden, and if such a scenario is repeated in North Korea, China is most to suffer, as a result of which China doesn't want a solution in, or an armed solution in North Korea. Then thirdly, China is also against the idea of a reunified Korea. Now if North Korea loses, there is any possibility of a North Korea and South Korea union, China is most to lose. Now you have to understand some background. The background is that the war between North Korea and South Korea dates back to the Cold War era, with China along with Russia were on one hand and US on the other hand. The US has supported South Korea, and Russia and China had supported North Korea, and as a result of which these countries couldn't get united, and they were formed into two countries, two blocks. This is the history, which is also a part of your syllabus in the world history. So this becomes important from that point of view. Now, because these two countries are at war, if in any case North Korea is defeated and it is made to unite with South Korea, China is most to suffer, because China and Russia are not at best relations with South Korea, and as a result of it, China will not prefer a reunion in this, or a tactical solution to the North Korean problem. The third country that has lesser stakes is Russia itself. Russia definitely is unwilling for strengthening the US, and therefore is not going to support the US in any case. And so Russia as a contributor to a tactical solution is not possible. The chances are bleak, and as a result of which tactical solution is not available. So this is the explanation that the author has given for no tactical solution in North Korea. So if there is no tactical solution, then what is the solution that the author has offered? Now this is important because you can get many questions where you'll be asked to analyze this problem of North Korea, and you will be expected to give solution. Even if a question is not demanding directly that what should be the solution, you are expected to at least in 2 to 3 lines offer a solution. That is a key requirement of majority of UPSC answers, and that is why you should always look for a solution. So the solution that the author has offered here is a comprehensive, sustained diplomatic solution. Now these are key words: comprehensive, detailed, sustainable. These are few keywords which can be noted down. Sustainable solution. Secondly, he is also recommended on recognizing the nuclear status of North Korea. Why? Because there is no other way around it. You cannot fight North Korea, and it is nuclear capable now, and only wise thing to do now is to accept it. The author offers a very good analysis where he says that yes, there is time to stop a country from becoming nuclear capable, but once that time has gone, the wise thing is to accept a country. Secondly, taking on board North Korea's historical grievances can be a solution. Because North Korea definitely has suffered sanctions. It has some historical prejudices against South Korea and the developed world. So acknowledging those grievances and taking it on board can help calm down the situation, especially the imminent risks of a nuclear war with South Korea. So that can be avoided. So that is a solution. And the most important solution that the author has offered is reviving the 6-party agreement, which you too can mention in your solutions. So these are the 4 solutions that the author has offered, and small note of these can be made. This is the gist of this article. Now coming to the application part of this article. This is the important part. First, this article is directly important in international relations. You can have a direct question on the Korean Peninsula, and this becomes important there. Countries that are involved here are US. Countries that are involved here are China. Countries that are involved include Russia, Japan, South Korea. So all of these are major countries, and international relation questions on these countries are common, and so you can have a question directly on this issue. So there you can use this article. Secondly, this article becomes very, very important when it comes to a nuclear issue. Why this is important is, now this is a twisted application, and this is what you need to understand. See, what is important these days is the NPT. India, you all know, is not a signatory to NPT, and India has in the past recent past tried to get membership of NPT, which was opposed by China. And then many experts in India have questioned the relevance of NPT itself. Now this is very, very important in this case. Why? Because we all know that the nuclear status by a country is one of the biggest challenges to world security. And especially a country like North Korea, which is openly belligerent towards the world. So the question here is that countries like South Korea and Japan, who are in the immediate vicinity of North Korea and immediately threatened by a nuclear threat, are technologically very advanced, and very much these countries are also capable of getting nuclear weapons. And whenever it comes to their self security of these countries, it is no challenge that sooner or later these countries themselves can get nuclear capabilities. So the relevance of NPT in a world where all countries are going in for nuclear capabilities is eroded. Secondly, this is going to be a domino effect. Once these countries get nuclear capabilities, other countries will also get encouraged, motivated to go in for getting nuclear weapons. So this will send a very bad precedence in the world, and this will lead to a chain reaction. Secondly, there is also an ethical connotation here, which is that of nuclear capable countries. The nuclear capable countries have always asserted on disarmament, but that is only a rhetoric of these countries, and in practice they have not taken a single step towards disarmament, which has resulted in erosion of faith in these countries, which has prompted not only North Korea to get nuclear weapons, but this can further lead to other countries getting nuclear weapons because no action has been taken on disarmament. So disarmament as a policy again becomes important in this case. I'm sorry about the disarmament. Now another policy where the application part of this country comes is in the isolation policy. Isolationism. This is a policy that was initially being used by US. Even it tried to use this policy in case of Iran in the past. Now this policy is also being used by India for Pakistan. So if you get a question where you have to analyze the relevance of policy of isolationism, this is a very important article, that how this policy is not relevant. See, North Korea has faced isolationism for a very long time, and still the policy has failed. The country has gained nuclear capabilities, and it is at loggerheads with all the countries who had isolated this country. Secondly, even in the case of Iran, if one uses, it is only when P5+1 was formed under the Obama regime that a solution to the Iran problem was actually concluded. A treaty was concluded. Until and unless Iran was isolated, Iran continued with its nuclear program without any solution. So this is a lesson for India as well. At the end of the day, the only solution is that of negotiation, and if India wants to reach on any basic conclusion with even Pakistan, the policy of isolationism has failed in the past. It has failed in the recent times of North Korea. So how can India expect that Pakistan can get isolated in this world? So this is a good example for applying in the isolationist policy. So this is the application part of the article, and this is how it is important for UPSC. I hope this is of some use to you. Have a good day. Take care.